Republican Congressman Devin Nunes of California has been engaged for years in a very weird legal battle with a bunch of random Twitter accounts that troll him. There's Devin Nunes' cow, which is a parody account, obviously pretending to be a cow, hanging out in the dairy in Iowa looking for a little treasonous cowpoke. And another one called Devin Nunes' alt mom, which is clearly a parody. It bills itself as the not-so-proud alt mom of prolific libel tourist and part-time congressman Devin Nunes. Now, Nunes tried to force Twitter to unmask the parody accounts taunting him, filing a lawsuit in 2019. Again, a strange thing to do. Like, Twitter trolls are annoying, but who cares? He was unsuccessful. The case was dismissed last year. But then this happened. We just learned the Department of Justice of the United States of America, under Donald Trump and Attorney General Bill Barr, apparently took up Nunes' cause, secretly obtaining a grand jury subpoena last year in an attempt to identify the person behind a Twitter account dedicated to mocking Representative Devin Nunes of California. The alt mom account, according to a newly unsealed court document. Twitter fought the subpoena, as well as an associated gag order barring the company from talking about it publicly. And ultimately, the Times reports, according to a person familiar with the matter, the Justice Department withdrew the subpoena this spring after President Biden took office. Now, this is extremely anomalous behavior from the DOJ, and it comes on the heels of a bunch of news about possible abuses of power in that department under Bill Barr that we're just now finding out about. Barbara Mulcahy is a former U.S. attorney for the Eastern District of Michigan, and she joins me now. All right, I didn't actually, I thought there must be something wrong when I first saw this. When it first got published, I thought, oh, there's some mix-up here. They weren't actually trying to do this. So first, let me just start with this. Under what circumstances would the Department of Justice try to unmask an anonymous Twitter account?
Well, it could be a legitimate use in some context. For example, Chris, if someone were to tweet a threat about somebody, you know, I'm going to kill Chris Hayes, and it's coming from an anonymous account, that would be an appropriate use of a grand jury subpoena. There's a federal statute, 18 U.S.C. Section 875C, that makes it a crime to threaten to kidnap or physically injure someone in interstate commerce. And so that would be appropriate to figure out who sent that threat so that person could be investigated, questioned, find out if they mean it, if they have the means to actually kill you. So there is a legitimate means for that when there is some evidence of a threatening communication.
But there is no indication. I mean, this was trolling. This was not threatening. And in fact, we have some exchanges that appear to show that, you know, they were contending it was a threat, but there doesn't seem to be anything threatening. Like, can you, is this an appropriate use, I guess, is the second question.
Well, yes, and that's what has the Twitter lawyers concerned, what prompted them to file this motion with the judge to challenge and quash the subpoena. Twitter responds to subpoenas all the time, but what got their attention in this case was it appeared that this subpoena was trying to criminalize free speech. It looked at this account to see if there was anything that was threatening about it, and it said there's not. It looks like just a lot of mockery of Devin Nunes, a lot of things about his politics, ridiculing him. And there's nothing that they found that seemed to demonstrate any sort of threat that would fit within that statute. And that was their basis for filing this motion. And in response, rather than saying, here's the threatening communication, the Department of Justice simply withdrew the subpoena. So I don't know if that means that there never was any threatening communication, or there's something they don't want to share. It's a little murky there, but I think that we're right to be concerned that this appears on its face to be a really blatant abuse of the grand jury power.
Okay, so here's so step one is we know Devin Nunes hates these Twitter accounts because he sued them. And I thought the whole time as I watched this unfold, I thought, man, this is so embarrassingly thin-skinned. Like, you're a public figure. It's the internet. Like, who cares, right? You're being mocked. It comes with the territory, buddy. Get another line of work. But whatever. It hurt his fifis. He was very sad about it. He wanted to use the legal process to make them stop making fun of him. Now, so that didn't work. Then we've got the Justice Department attempting to go after one of these accounts. And it looks like 2 + 2 = 4, which is that the Occam's razor theory for what happened here is that someone in Devin Nunes' orbit passed along to the Department of Justice their frustration with this, right? I mean, we don't know, but it's hard to understand how it would come to that otherwise.
Yeah, on its face, it absolutely looks like that. And I think the real danger here is two things. One is the civil liberties intrusion of criminalizing free speech, of using a grand jury subpoena, which is for criminal investigations, to just try to get to the bottom of who is the anonymous person behind this particular Twitter account. I also think that as a former prosecutor, this has an institutional threat as well. Prosecutors are entrusted with a lot of authority to utilize grand jury subpoenas. They're used without court oversight so that prosecutors can act quickly and nimbly when they need to find someone who is truly threatening someone in interstate commerce. And if there is an abuse of that power, I worry that there will be a movement to curtail that power from even legitimate use.
That's such a good point. So this is the DOJ without a judge signing off, going to Twitter and be like, hey, give us this Twitter username, and Twitter saying, whoa, 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 not so fast, right?
Yes, and, you know, Twitter is a pretty big institution. They have a strong legal staff. You wonder how many times have there been subpoenas submitted to other entities that didn't have the nerve to push back or the resources to push back. And so when you see this kind of abuse, it's good to see that Twitter challenged it and took them on, and that DOJ actually backed down when they did so. But how many people are not backing down in those situations? That's why I think this is a really dangerous abuse of power, if it is what it appears to be.
Barbara McQuaid, thank you so much.